got both trailers mounted. I mounted them sideways this time. Last couple trailer blinds I've done, I put the ladder off the back, but then when you back them into your food plot, or you pull them into your food plot, you have to, you know, drive into the food plot and then back them up, and so you're running over the food plot. So I'm gonna do these with the ladder off the side, and that way I can just pull it alongside the edge of the field and hunt it that way. We're gonna try that out. I think it's gonna work well. I don't want to rip it all up, I just want to open it. Can you ball that into a ball? You want to stomp that together? Okay, jump off of it. Okay, buddy.
I want to yell Tate's name out of here.
All right, let's open it. That wraps it up. 2 blinds mounted to the trailers. I'm gonna get them pulled out and come up with a game plan for this afternoon. Hey guys, it is Wednesday, September 25th. As you can see at the beginning of the video, we were doing the last minute scramble to get Redneck blinds set up and out for youth season. Been behind all summer, and you know, with the wind predictions for Saturday, and with where I had food and where I thought the kids could shoot and where I had active trail camera photos, I'd decided I needed to get set up on the new farm on this little plot and go after this buck we called Aries. And so it was one of those situations where I pulled the blind out midday and hunted it that afternoon. And it was, you know, it came very close to working. We saw the buck, laid eyes on him opening day, and the first 10 deer that came out didn't really mind the blind, but ended up having a doe that came out about the same time as him, 30 minutes before dark, and she didn't like the blind, stomping, blew at it, and cleared the field, cleared the buck. And so close call on that first sit. It's good to finally get everything tucked away as far as blinds go. I set up those last 2 trailer blinds Saturday morning, and all the spots that I think are going to be functional for youth season are now up. That particular spot, it was kind of a sleeper spot. It wasn't on my radar. You know, I got access to that piece of the property in July. As I was going around, I was originally focused farther into the property along that big ravine, and then noticed that area. There's a 15-acre tillable field that's planted to beans this year, and then there's a kind of a little cove that they let the CRP expire this past year, and it's like, boy, it's an area I could get a quick green plot in, and it's along a creek, and it's kind of tucked away from the rest of the property, so it's sort of just, you don't even feel like you're going into the property. Got a little green plot in there. We've got a pond right there. We've got green beans right there. We've got alfalfa on the neighbor on both sides of the ravine, so a lot of early season activity there. There's red oaks there dropping acorns. Great access, you know, where we can slip down the fence line across one of the terraces right into the blind. Hunted on a southwest wind, which is a predominant early season wind, and really worked out well. All the deer coming out of that thicket, feeding into the beans. Like I said, most of them didn't mind us, but the setup works. That buck has continued to be active pretty much every evening in daylight. Mature 10, he's actually got 11 scorables. He's got a little split G4 on the right side, and I think we're gonna, you know, try to make some more sits for that guy if we get the right winds. Right now we're rolling with north-northeast winds, and so we don't have a time here to go after him in the short term, but I'm certainly keeping my eye on the winds, and if we can slip in there with one of the other kids, we'll do that. Sunday, so we had the cold front come through. Originally, the front was going to happen on Friday, but it got pushed back. So Saturday was 86 degrees, super hot, muggy activity. We thought was going to be late, but obviously having the water there and having all those early season food sources with the brassicas, alfalfa, and beans, it worked out. Cold front came through Saturday night. The high on Sunday was 65 degrees, and we switched to a spot for a north wind and had success. If you guys follow socials, you saw that Bella put a buck down. We hadn't even named him. We went in there for a mature buck we call Percy. We're all just kind of naming these deer. Bella suggested we go Greek gods and call the farm Mount Olympus, and it's kind of fun doing that with the kids. So we're slowly gonna get some of these bucks named, but this setup we broke down. Hey buddy, how we doing? Kids are eating snacks, just got out of the shower. Bella's baking some brownies. It's just crazy family life per the usual. Sandra's been shooting. We've been shooting every night. Tate's been shooting. Bryn's been shooting. Bryn's up next. And the boys are anxious to go. What's up, buddy? Good night. I love you. This spot was on the original property, the spot we hunted Saturday that I bought at auction, the 76 acres, backfield, acre of beans, acre of clover, a spot where the previous person that was hunting it had food, so naturally it was natural to go in there and put food there. NRCS was happy with that just because it's all in CRP and you get 10% in food. So did that. I like the way it's set up, butts up against that big ravine. One of the things that I go over in the breakdown is originally, so there's a gate gap that connects my food plot to the big ag field to the south. And originally I was going to set up for a northwest wind, put the blind on the east side of that gate gap, blow that northwest wind away from the gate gap. And then, kind of looking at it, I'm like, well, most of the deer are going to probably be coming out of that ravine and things that are to the southeast. And so I elected to, actually, when I set up the blind a week before we hunted it, I put it on the west side of the food plot, and it sets up better for a straight north or an easterly wind, a northeast wind or a straight east wind. And so that's how we hunted it, and it worked to a T. I mean, the deer, this buck came out of that big thicket to the southeast and worked right into the beans. He didn't even go into the clover. The beans have already defoliated and turned yellow and then defoliated. But I have brassicas. I put the overcast mix in there. We have the clover pot there, so I thought, it's worth going sit. And he actually was happy to be feeding the beans. And you can tell in the video how big his body is. I was getting some pictures of him actually on the other side of the property, on the newer piece, is where I've gotten most of his pictures. But that night he popped up on that side. Only buck we saw. Came in at 7 o'clock, basically just like the night before, 30 minutes before dark. And you'll see how that hunt unfolds on Monday's main show. We'll put the whole hunt together and show you guys that whole hunt. But nice for Bella to have success on a mature buck, first buck off the farm, and for it to play out like we were thinking it would. That area is a neat spot. The worst part about that spot is access. I kind of have to walk through the farm, but I think it'll be worse in the morning. In the afternoon, we sneak down the mowed lane. All the deer are bedded in the draws and the thickets, and we don't really bother anything if you're careful about, being quiet and watching where your wind's blowing. And then moving forward, I've got Bryn, Sander, and Tate all shooting the 350 Legend and ready to go out. We've got northeast winds most of the weekend. We may be able to make a hunt tomorrow night at the home farm. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at this weekend down at the river bottom area, maybe the 28-acre farm, maybe trying to get on the new farm somewhere. We'll see, but we're going to press on with youth season and see if we can't get another one of the kids a buck down. All that'll be on next Thursday's weekly blog on the chase. And like we keep saying, if there's anything you guys are curious about or want us to talk about, just drop us a comment. And I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you next week.